It's time for Hot Topics on the Rocks with Alexander. Better pour yourself another.
This is hot. That's hot. That's hot. This is really hot. That's hot. That's hot.
So hot. All right, so here on Hot Topics, we love to ruffle some feathers and get things going. The hot topic is, it's inspired by Onicks, your very open struggle with addiction. Also, Adam, your journey in health and fitness, literally bringing yourself back from the brink of not too healthy whatsoever into this muscle health and mental fitness person. We see this transition. What a transition. So we're going to talk about Demi Lovato recently came out and stated that she is dealing with her addiction and that she is, quote, California sober. I thought it meant she put avocado toast on her plate with a Xanax, but it's not. It means she is able to drink in moderation and she can smoke pot. The intervention and recovery industry came at her in droves, saying that she shouldn't be promoting this as a viable recovery option and that it can put a lot of people in some harm's way, thinking that they can moderate. So the hot topic is, can California sobriety be considered a recovery option? Will this kind of sobriety offer a misguided option to addicts and cause more harm than good on somebody's sober journey? Gentlemen?
Oh,
I never heard of that term before. California sober. Did this just happen?
It happened this last week, and it's going viral.
And honestly, I give some input.
Please.
I've had several friends that have been through rehab in California and Malibu and all those places, and I think that California sober is when you're addicted to a hard substance, and then you decide to become sober. You go to rehab, and you come out, and you decide, okay, all I'm going to do is drink. It's not the same as sobriety. It's not the same as being clean.
Yeah.
But in California, it's like we have such a connection to the social life that we feel like California sober is okay. And that's a tricky subject.
I've always thought, and I've never been addicted to hard drugs. I've never been interested. It has no effect on me, literally. No, because it has no effect. It's not like I've...
It has no effect.
No, it's like, why waste my time?
She's a steel trap.
No, it's like... And I'm really being honest about, you come to Hollywood, it's at the parties, it's everywhere. I love my alcohol. Everyone here can attest to that. But like hard drugs has no allure for me, so I can see that there's a separate designation. If I ever went to get help for alcoholism, it has nothing to do with drugs. And I know people who have done hard drugs. Alcohol's not even this big allure for them or issue. So I have personally seen it be separated.
Yeah, and I can actually relate to that because, honestly, obviously, I was really honest on your show the last time, and I was just like, you know what?
And inspirational to many people, remember?
Thank you.
Yep.
And I went through substance abuse issues, but I do drink now, and I would call that California sober. So it's
that is California sober.
To me, based on the amount of hardships that I went through and the amount of darkness and the amount of drugs and the amount of deception, all those things, me drinking is much better than me being that person. So to me, I guess if you want to use the term loosely, California sober, I guess it would make most sense if I were to have to put a term to it.
And so the thought is that it's like, how they say it's a gateway drug, that if somebody gets too drunk or whatever, then it's going to be very easy for them to slip into drug abuse or dealing with a hangover or being in the party scene.
I can see that for most people. For myself, it wasn't the case. I can separate the two, but I would say that is somebody with a platform as large as Demi Lovato. I would say that advocating for a California sober vibe, it's going to confuse a lot of people and it's going to leave a lot of doors open. But do I understand it? Yes, I do.
But there's also the side, it's like she's coming out and saying, hey, I had an addiction problem. And so she's showing that even famous people, can suffer through this. And she's being very honest.
Which I do appreciate.
See, so it's like a double-edged sword. Adam, coming from a whole health and fitness type of approach, where your body is a temple, a very well-constructed temple. What is your thought on this idea of California sober? And, coming from the entertainment industry, I'm sure you've seen stuff backstage. You've seen things on sets. You've seen things at the parties. What's your take?
I think substance use is an addiction. There's a spectrum. I'm also my own mentality is that people should stay in their own lane. So if Demi Lovato knows what's best for Demi Lovato, and whoever is responsible for whoever's her primary care provider, those two people, everyone else should just shut the fuck up. And she's responsible for herself.
Right, but should she be she has literally broadcasted this whole, it was like a press release and it was her open letter. And so maybe since it is a different way of going through recovery, maybe she could have just been a little bit more quiet about it.
Well, I think that's her own personal choice. I'm not. That's part of her process that she wants to be public about it. Other people are private about their spiritual or addiction journeys. So I'm not the one to comment on that. I think as long as what matters is that she's healthy and happy. So if it's working for her, then good for her. I think we give people too much power, celebrities, and say, oh, well, she said this. So, I mean, she's not the president of the United States of America. So like her job is she's an entertainer, she's an artist. And so whatever personal problem she's dealing with, she's dealing with that interpersonally.
Well, and somebody famous who wants to get healthy or wants whatever can afford a lot of help. Like if I was a top celebrity and I said, hey, you know what, I'm gonna get fit and I'm gonna lose all this weight. I'm gonna have 4 trainers. I'm gonna have a nutritionist. I'm gonna have a private chef. It's gonna be much easier for me to stick to it than somebody working 12 hours a day on a budget. So if Demi wants to do this, she probably has people around her to help with triggers and to help kind of mold her in the same way.
And honestly, if she's going through this now, she's been going through this for a long time.
Oh,
it's not just now. It's
open about
not
that.
just exactly. These things are deep rooted and they've been going on for a long time. This is just it's spilled over into her public life.
Yeah.
So like I kind of respect her in the fact that she's being as open as she can about it without being like an absolute PR nightmare. So I think that hopefully. No, like you know what I mean. Like if she revealed things that are so private while she was addicted and while she was using drugs, I think that could be harmful to her career.
Yeah.
But she's doing it in a way where she obviously has a team that's filming the documentary and she's doing all those things. I think that could be helpful for some people.
But why that haircut?
Anyways, next one on the
Anyway,
rocks.
all right.
I saw her perform at the Grammys last year. It was really a powerful performance. I was there at the amphitheater. She sounded fantastic.
She's an amazing performer, and she's amazing. Whether the media goes crazy when she gets thin, just like with Christina Aguilera. It's like, you know what? These women are amazing performers, no matter what their waist size is.
No matter what their
Why
waist
is that
size
the headline?
Ugh.
Blah.